you think happened to Famous? The question everyone has been asking all season long, and I found the answer, but it's been staring us in the face all along. Yet, it may not be what you think it is. The reason he's been missing simply comes down to the fact that, what's going on everyone, Just Be here, and I'm breaking down the latest episode of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 4, titled The Way We Were. Interesting title indeed. Let's dive deeper into this. This is one of those shoot 'em up, bang bang kinds of episodes of Power that you tend to love, but it has some subtle moments in it that leave so much clues. No long talking, we're diving into the biggest parts of this episode right now. Let's go. This episode starts off with Marv and Rock making moves on Tremont, who they've had dealings with in the past, going back all the way to season 2. They tie him down and rough him up, which is introductory to the plot of them becoming the new H supplier, following up from their conversation with Joaquin in the previous episode. Now, it was the voiceover by 50 Cent as older Kanan that really captured my attention here. Let's take a listen.
Nothing changes like looking death in the face. Even when you luck up, cheat it before it cheats you. You're never gonna be the same. Never gonna remember what it feel like to not have the creeping up over your shoulder. One step touch you, that hand always there. Don't never leave. But you can't let that shake you, cause you're scared of dying. Don't know how to live.
Which tells me a lot. And now here's what he says at the end of the episode.
It's 1,000 ways to die while you still breathing. Eat at you, with your head, with your soul. Kill you a little bit every day. And then one day you look in the mirror, and you don't even recognize who's staring back at you. But every now and then, you get a girl who see themselves in that mirror. And they know who's looking at them. And they like that. They think all that death look good on them. And them's the cause you gotta fear the most. Cause they dead already. They just don't know it yet.
So even though the closing shot is on Juke, I think this illustrates what the writers are setting up for Marvin, unfortunately. It's these little details that we have to pay attention to. I predict he'll start to have a personality shift where he can't believe it's his fault his daughter's deleted someone and will want to protect her more from those kinds of actions, whilst also liking how he feels being a hitter for Stefano Marchetti and seemingly untouchable and invincible. On top of that, after making a move on another one of Rock's business partners, which brings even more heat down on her from them, Unique ends up connecting with Sal Baselli's widow, who still wants revenge for Marv taking out Sal and their men at the church last season. Now the walls are closing in, and I think this is setting up Marvin's downfall. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. So Kanan is still recovering from Unique robbing his spot when OC was there and is now low on cash to pay back Snaps and Pops. So when he goes back to make the payment to them, they end up schooling him and let him know that he's too much in Rock's shadow in the business and that he needs to make connections with the main players who are connected to his organization himself. Because, and I quote, "How people see you now is how they're going to see you forever." So they set him up directly with Quan, and Kanan lets him know that he should feel comfortable to engage with him directly from now on if any issues arise. So when he ends up meeting Stefano after to try to create that sort of relationship with him as well, Stefano puts him in check and is a little bit different. He tries to encourage him to stay under his mother's wing and to be thankful for her, mentioning the $500,000 that she had to borrow from him in order to get him out of the squeeze that he was in just a few months ago with Ronnie. I predict what may happen here is that because Rock is in pursuit of becoming the connect here, that when she inevitably becomes that, Kanan will end up emancipating himself from her and keep the business and the current product line for himself while she goes the way of moving the other products. Now, the only thing is she needs to make sure that she has sufficient lieutenants and soldiers to actually distribute once she becomes the connect, which I think it will happen as we see the move she makes engaging with Ishak in this episode to inevitably meeting privately with the new H supplier, Hafiz, who lets her know there are going to be some specific requirements in order for them to do business, as he's already content with his current network. And now because Kanan currently is the one that controls the boys on the ground i.e. via OC and others, and building those direct relationships with people like Quan and maybe eventually the Chinese, we'll see him come into his own, at least for a time, because there still needs to be a reason, in my opinion, for Breeze to enter the picture at some point. But that question is, how do you think that'll happen? Let me know in the comments. Hold on real quickly. You guys want to see something crazy? Over 99% of you guys that watch my content are not subscribed. So I'm asking real quickly, if you don't mind, just hit the like button and hit subscribe real quickly. I'd love to keep on giving this content to you guys, and lets me know that people actually are interested. Feel free to do that, man. Really appreciate it a lot. Would help me out a long way in growing my small channel. Thanks. Now back to the video. A big part of this episode was Kanan and Lou discussing the big question on everyone's mind this season, which is, where is Famous? Which at this stage, I think Marv took care of him. I won't even be long on this point. I'm pretty convinced he's gone. A couple of clues that we can be able to evaluate here is the fact that the actor Antonio Ortiz is not even in the opening or closing credits anymore of the show. And he's been a main cast member since season 2, where he's had his name in the opening credits. Nor have I seen him do any press or promotion for this season. The only other possibility is that Famous is in witness protection by the feds, but that doesn't hold much water, nor add up to what Lou said about Jess when she visited him. And even Lou has doubts about it as well. So when this is found out, regardless of the reason, where I still think it's something to do with Marv, and this came to me while I was actually editing this video, which is why I'm inserting this here, and it's the fact that Marvin has quite a long rap sheet when you come to think about it, guys. He has taken out people before for snitching and even snitching on Kanan, such as Lil Rob back in season 1. And a lot of what he's done has actually gone unaccounted for. So could we be seeing that full circle moment? And another theory that I'll be able to insert in here as well is that I believe the very first episode of this season allowed us to expose that there were gaps of time that were unaccounted for and things that we need to be keeping an eye out for that we probably didn't see. And one of those obvious things remains is the fact that there are gaps of time in unique story of him actually still being alive that we maybe haven't seen. Is it possible that at some point in time, Unique had an encounter with Famous who would have spotted and recognized him before he wanted to, and he took him out? Something to also think about there as well, guys. Keep in mind, there is still a reason Kanan one day names his son Sean, which is Famous's legal name. Usually people only do that as a tribute, but what do you guys think happened to Famous is the big question. Lots of juicy moments in this episode, guys, giving you the nuts and bolts, breaking those down because there's so much context clues that set us up for the mid-season, which I imagine will be the mid-season break of Raising Kanan in episode 5. That's all for my biggest moments breakdown here, guys. What did you think about this episode, and where do you think we could be heading in episode 5 for the mid-season break? Do you think I'm crazy here? Do you think I'm onto something? Let's talk about it inside the comments. And if you derived any value from this breakdown, listen, give your boy some love, man. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. Until next time, peace.